everyone, and this is Mimmi again from C-Mimmi-O, and welcome to my channel. This time I'm doing something that is the first one for me, so a little bit different. I am happy to give you my first interview. So this interview is based on guest glow, so on my blog, which was published last week, and that particular guest glow was written by Muhammad Saad, and now I have the privilege and the joy to interview him on the subject matter, and we can dig even a bit deeper on the subject. And now I'll let him introduce himself to you. If you can, so Muhammad, if you can introduce yourself and also tell a little bit how you approach the subject matter.
Thanks, Mimi, and honestly, thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I am Muhammad. I work closely with B2B SaaS teams, mainly around content, data, and go to market strategy. How I approach this topic is actually very practical. I kept seeing SaaS teams struggling with good traffic but like poor leads, or demos are happening but no adoption afterward. And when you dig deep into it, the problem usually isn't the product, it's that they are not clear who they are building and marketing for. So this article came from that gap, how to build personas that actually help teams make better decisions, not just look nice in a slide deck.
So I've gathered now some questions so that we can get a little bit more detailed information from Muhammad, and let's see what we get out. The first question comes here. From your experience, why do so many B2B SaaS teams just struggle so much with long sales cycles and low adoption and poor lead quality when they don't use these well-defined
That's a really important question. From my experience, when B2B SaaS teams don't use clear customer persona, everything becomes slightly misaligned. Like marketing talks to one set of an audience, sales pitches to another, and the product is built for the third one. Long sales cycles usually happen because messaging doesn't match how buyer actually thinks or decide. Low adoption happens because onboarding isn't designed around the real workflow, and similarly poor lead quality that often because campaigns attract people who were never a good fit in the first place. So personas act like an alignment tool, in my opinion. They give everyone, like marketing, sales, and product, a shared understanding of who they were solving for, why that person would care, and how they make decisions. Without that, teams are mostly guessing.
Good. The second question I had on mine was that how do you see data-driven B2B SaaS customer persona differing from a traditional persona, like the ones that focus mainly on these demographics or assumptions?
This is where a lot of teams get stuck. Traditional persona usually stop at the demographics or assumptions. Like things like company size, industry, or job title. But a data driven B2B SaaS persona goes much deeper. It looks at how users actually work day to day, what kind of tools they already use, how they interact with your product, and what triggers adoption or resistance. So instead of saying this, like this is a marketing manager at a mid sized company, You are saying, like, this is someone responsible for growth, under pressure to show ROI, already using three tools, and frustrated by manual workflow. That shifts from who they are to how they work is what make personas actionable.
Let's get to the third question. There'll be 8, by the way, in all and all. So the third one is, why do you think it's important to layer these multiple data sources, such as like firmographics, roles, and usage data, rather than just relying on one type of insight when building these personas?
That's interesting because relying on one data source almost always gives you a distorted picture. Firmographics might tells you where someone sits, roles tell you like what they are responsible for, usage data tells you like what they actually do. So the idea behind the 8-layer framework is very simple. No single lens explains behavior fully. When you layer insights such as company context, role, behavior, reminders, motivation, patterns start to merge. And those patterns help teams make better decisions, whether it's about refining targeting, improving onboarding, prioritizing features. So it's less about complexity, and you can say like more about
Makes sense.
completeness.
Thanks. Okay, let's go to the fourth question. Um, can you explain how behavioral and product usage data can actually reveal risks like churn or low adoption earlier than surveys or customer feedback alone?
Yeah, this is where SaaS teams can get a real edge. Surveys and feedback are useful, but in my opinion, they are often delayed. Like you hear about problems after damage is done. On the other side, behavioral and product usage data shows signals early. For instance, if a user signs up but never completes a core action, or if features usage drop suddenly, that's a red flag. So in B2B SaaS, those signals often predict churn or low expansion before a customer ever complains. When team monitor behavior, they can intervene earlier with better onboarding, targeted education, and proactive approach.
Hmm? Okay, makes sense. Now let's get to how does the jobs to be done approach help SaaS teams move away from more of this feature focused messaging toward outcome driven communication?
This is one of my favorite parts. Jobs to be done shifts the conversation from what feature do we have to what problem is the user trying to solve. In B2B SaaS, people don't buy features, in my opinion. They buy outcomes like saving times, reducing risk, improving visibility, and hitting the right KPIs. So when you frame messaging around the job someone is hiring your product to do, marketing become clear, sales conversation becomes shorter, and product decisions become more focused. So everyone relies around the outcome instead of functionality lists.
Absolutely, yeah, makes sense. Okay, uh, then on to in what ways do these psychographic and motivation insights, like such as fears, goals, and definitions of success, how do they change how you shape messaging for these users versus like the decision makers?
This is where personas really start influencing messaging. As a decision maker, you might care about ROI, risk, and long term impact, While if you see from like end user perspective, they more care about ease of use, speed, and day to day frustration. Psychographic insights like fears, goal, and decisions of success help you tailor messaging without changing the product itself. So instead of one generic proposition, you speak differently to users and buyers, even though they are interacting with the same SaaS tool. So, in my POV, that distinction matters a lot in B2B buying committees.
Okay, thanks. Okay, almost there. So a couple of questions more. So why are technographic fit and communication preferences critical in this reducing of onboarding friction and shortening this B2B SaaS buying decision?
Ah, yes. This one is often underestimated. If your product doesn't fit into a team's existing tech stack, friction shows up immediately, like during onboarding, maybe like integration or even security reviews. But at the same time, communication preference matters. Like some buyers want detailed documentation, other wants maybe like demos, and other wants like short comparison pages. So, when SaaS teams understand both technographic fit and how people prefer to receive information, buying decisions become smoother and onboarding feels less overwhelming. And that directly shortens the sales cycle.
Yep, thank you. And on to the last one then. How does defining an anti-persona help protect growth, and what risks do these SaaS teams then face when they ignore who their product is not for?
This is the strategic one. So, by defining anti persona, helps you clearly say this product is not for everyone, and that's perfectly okay. So when team ignores anti persona, they might start attracting customers who churn quickly, demand heavy support, or like never fully adopt the product, and that's hurt both the growth and morale. So by clearly defining who the product is not for, your teams protect focus, improve retention, and at the same time build stronger relationships with the right customers from the start.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up. Thank you. That was good. Okay. Yeah. So wow, that was really packed. I think now we've heard so much from Muhammad on these drill down questions, and if you want to read more, the guest glow from Muhammad can be found on my blog on the c-mimmi-o.com/insights. The link for it is in the description, and I'll probably add it also to the comments. That's all from me now. Bye!